Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Ventthis podcast. I am one of your hosts, Paul Roseberry, joined by the lovely
Christine. I always
said with
leave
such
out my
enthusiasm.
I know.
Way to punch it home.
Well, the thing is, I was kind of sick, so I'm a little low key right now, but I'm better.
Chrissy's recording from a bunker underground in a remote third world country. If there's any trouble hearing her broadcast, she's doing the best she can from behind 4 feet of stone. Guys, so listen, before we get into it, Chrissy and I, we always check in with each other. We're like, hey, you have anything to cap for the week before, anything that's been going on? I'm going to put this out there. I was in a weird situation this week, and I stand by it. This week, I returned a cabbage to Whole Foods.
What?
I returned
Who does
produce.
that?
Well, okay. I'm going to explain to you how this came to be. So Chelsea, my lovely wife, Chelsea, gives me a list. She texts me a list of groceries to pick up at the store, and she gets all the healthy stuff. I eat Taco Bell, whatever. So I'm trying to get all the healthy stuff. I don't really know this world. I don't know the vegetable section of Whole Foods. This is her wheelhouse. I don't have her as my guide. I'm a babe in the woods. I'm lost.
Okay.
So, but she says, get a green cabbage. I think she had like a better name for it. I think she put like green in parentheses for me to dumb it down, but there was a better name for the cabbage. Anyway, I pick up the cabbage. I get everything else. There's 10 veggies, whatever. Sure. I get to the register. The last thing I ring up is this cabbage. Chrissy, let me ask you, because I don't buy cabbages. I don't know if you maybe have a little more experience. How much should a cabbage cost?
Well, it depends on where you shop. Gelson's is expensive. Trader Joe's,
Sure.
not so much. Ralph's,
Throw out a range. What would you guess?
$4.
$7.
I could be
$7.
lowballing it.
I got to the register and it said $7.13 for this cabbage. And immediately I'm like, gone, take it off. I'm not paying $7 for a cabbage. I'm not doing it. This is ridiculous. But at the same time, I may sometimes get a slight stigma of being a little cheap. Okay. Maybe a little cheap.
A little?
A
right.
little. I didn't know you knew that so well about me, Chrissy. I like to cut costs on I like to help save money on the budget of the pod. Anyway, listen. So now I'm at this quandary. I got this $7 cabbage rung up on the screen. My immediate thought is have the guy come over and take it off because I go to self-scan anyway. That's a whole other thing. And I just want to throw this cabbage. But then I say to myself, you know what? God, my wife works so hard. She's doing so much with the baby. She likes to eat healthy. She's got this cabbage is part of an ingredients list. It's part of a recipe. Am I going to blow our whole recipe over $7? Really? Am I going to come home and say, sorry, hon, I didn't get one of the 5 things you asked, 20% of your list. I didn't get it because I, who don't know what a cabbage should cost, just felt knee jerk. That was too much. So forget it. We're going to have your dinner, your idea, your vision without everything because I don't have $7. So anyway, I buy the cabbage begrudgingly, furious.
Oh.
Now, a little bit of me is like, well, you make up for that $7 by stealing from the hot bar every time you come in. So, I mean, you've definitely, you could overpay for a cabbage. It's not a big deal. But anyway, I pay for the cabbage. I come home and the cabbage is heavy in the bag, right? It's right there. And so I asked Chelsea as soon as I walk in, I say, hey, by the way, got everything you wanted. Can't wait to see what you're going to do with this. Just a quick question. That cabbage costs $7. Is that what it costs? And she goes, are you crazy? Why'd you buy it? She said,
What?
why did you buy it? She goes, why the hell would you pay that? She goes, you should have just put it back. I said, no, I did it for you, for your honor, for my respect and love for you, for the relationship we have, and for what you do for our baby girl. I paid $7 for this cabbage. And she goes, well, that's really sweet of you, but you didn't need to do that. Absolutely not. And you know what? I told her, I said, well, she goes, we don't even really need it for the recipe.
Oh.
I said, well, in that case, do you mind if I return it? She goes, no, you should. And so I go to the register. I walk into Whole Foods, bringing cabbage, not leaving a cabbage, bringing it. And And I go to the guy and I didn't know how to phrase this. So I just said, I'd like to make a return. And he goes, okay. So I pull out the cabbage and he's like, do you happen to have the receipt? And I'm like, I hope that's the only question that comes up. And I hand him the receipt. He goes, oh, great. And then he goes, so for reason it's and there's this pause where I'm like, what? I don't know. I like what I'd already planned in my head. I'm gonna say it didn't smell right. It was a little slimy. I don't know. Like, what do you have to make up
Cabbage
about a
hater.
cabbage? Huh?
Cabbage hater. Cabbage
Cabbage,
hater.
cabbage ravage. So I tell he offers. He goes, was it a quality issue? I said, yeah.
You couldn't
Just said
lie.
but you know what? I kind of did a little though because I said, well, my wife, she said wasn't right. Wasn't right. I said, I don't know. I told him I don't know how to judge a cabbage. I don't know. I don't know. But the wife says no on this one. And I don't want to be that guy who hides behind his wife's words when it's really his own. But just like ultimately it's not a lie. It's because even though it was about the price, yes, it was about the price. And I was thinking about this when I walked the dog last night. I said, it is, you could still argue it's about the quality. Because if that cabbage were wrapped in gold, then that would be a different quality cabbage. And I would pay $7 for it. It's the fact that it's just a regular cabbage. And so I returned it. So yes, do I feel like a derelict? Do I feel like a low member of society that I returned produce to a grocery store? A little bit. Did I spend 7 minutes on a $7 cabbage? That just happened.
And 7 minutes on your rage just now, looking at a clock. That's how cabbage rage you still have pent up.
Cabbage rage.
You're
I
a
like that,
cabbage
Chrissy.
hater. Okay. Well,
I
by the
hope I
way,
helped.
cabbage is very healthy. I know Chelsea knows that, but
Well,
the
so is good
future.
blood pressure when you pay a reasonable price for a cabbage. Don't screw me on a cabbage. I don't own a restaurant. I don't need a 25-pound cabbage. I'm not feeding 85 people tonight. What about a small cabbage? Listen, we have seedless watermelons. We have
Okay.
seedless grapes. We've engineered some good stuff in the produce section. How about a cabbage that is proximal to what you're going to use? That cabbage had to have weighed. It was $1.99 a pound. It was a 3.5 pound cabbage. What the hell is a man gonna do with a 3.5 pound cabbage? What's anyone gonna do? Yeah,
I don't
sound
know.
engineer Gary is doing the like shoulders up, like straining carry. What the hell? It looked like a
What?
bowling ball in the bag. You could see the shape of the cabbage through the paper bag. That's how obnoxious this cabbage was. And I won't say that I grabbed the biggest cabbage. I grabbed the nearest cabbage.
Okay.
All these
And
cabbages were approximately $7, and I think we have an error in the system.
all right, cabbage hater, should we hear the first vent? Let's do this, Loretta.
Loretta.
Enough already with the cabbage.
Cabbage.
Why is it whenever I go to a public pool at a nice hotel, the loudmouths always come and sit next to me? I deliberately sit away from people because I don't like them. But these loud idiots always sit next to me. WTF? Go away, man. I'm like a magnet for these people. Any suggestions what I can do to be a human repellent? Signed, Anonymous.
Yeah, I know what you can do. Build your own pool. I mean, for heaven's sakes, what are you going to do? There's a lot of people at a hotel. They're all by the pool. And, you want to move away? Okay. The other thing that could possibly happen is I got fired up because I just think it's crazy. You know how they have kiddie pools? Well, maybe
Yeah.
they should do adult pools, like a section for the people who want to do the cannonballs and throw the ball and splash. And then there's another section where you're just lying there reading a book, and being a cabbage or a vegetable, just lying down. I thought I would tie that in.
Like the
So,
cabbage callback.
how, yeah, or sit with the kids. I mean, if you're a magnet for this kind of crowd, then I don't know, just don't go to the pool. I don't know what to tell you.
Percy, I'm going to go the other way on this. I thought that was an interesting response you had because I totally feel this Venter. I do. You know what? Anytime I've been to a hotel, you look in the pool. You don't actually go. No one goes in the pool. You look in there and you see disturbing sights of grotesque people. You see just real weirdos, people you don't want
Okay.
to be anywhere near. And as if I wasn't going to go in the pool anyway, they sealed the deal. I don't want to be anywhere near those people. They're bizarre. Hotel pool people are a special class, and they're not right. But But, and I guess I'm thinking the indoor pool, really. I guess in the summer, if it's outdoor, it's a little different. I'm thinking the indoor pool. Those people are bizarre. The lights and everything's weird.
That's
But
weird. Yeah.
yeah, but I get it though. You want to be left alone. And I think that's a lot of our listeners. Like, we don't want this bullshit. What it sounded to me, I could be wrong. This venter is saying, say there's 30 open seats. He picks seat number 30. He thinks he's done a service to make it easy to leave him alone. He's in the last seat all by himself, just given a solid visual. I don't want to talk to anybody. And then some jerk comes in and sits in seat 29. Why? Leave him alone. And then it's like, Tom Tuttle from Tacoma, Washington wants to tell him about his whole life. It just stop it. Stop, Tommy. I didn't come to this pool to talk to you. I'm here for business. I want to get out of here. I want to be left alone. So I think maybe we should consider adding to our apparel line, Ventthis t-shirt that says like, leave me alone, or just no. What about a shirt that just says no? What about a hand? Just
I
a
like
no,
that.
no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
But I have a question. This venter, I mean, I think people who go to hotel pools, maybe a lot of them don't have a pool and they're going crazy and having fun. That's fine.
Even worse people. You know who you just painted for me? You just painted Randy Quaid's character in Christmas Vacation. The guy who yells out "shitters full." He pulls up in his RV out front.
Yeah.
That's who you just, yeah. Exactly. That's who this guy doesn't want to talk to. He doesn't want to be bothered by these yokels.
You mean the venter?
These hee-haws. Yes, the venter. He doesn't want to listen to these clowns.
Well, I mean, no, I just have a question. If you're somewhere, this happens to me a lot.
Okay.
People just randomly talk to me. My husband's like, I don't understand. People talk to you. I said, I know. I don't mind it, but there are times where I'm be left alone. He obviously this venter doesn't want to talk to anybody. So pretend like you're reading a book. Pretend like you're taking a nap. What else do you do when you're sitting by a pool?
I have a feeling this guy might be reading a book and people are coming up to him. I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like this guy got pushed, like where he's in the state of confusion. I feel like he is pretending to take a nap and someone's like, oh, sorry, do you mind if I sit here? And they're like, no, it's fine. They're like, cool. Hey, by the way, it's like the guy who talks to you on the plane and doesn't realize, hey, 2 or 3 minutes was cool. Now I'm going to just be next to you. Our arms are going to touch. We're that close. And I don't want anything else to do with you. Can we establish that relationship? Can we touch and not talk and be strangers and uncomfortable and distant? Like, I get you, Chrissy. Usually the book would be enough. I like to talk to people when I'm out. I like to be cordial. No, I like to be cordial. I think a cordial is a great word. And I like to be, Chelsea calls me the mayor. When I'm home in New Hampshire, I'm the mayor. I talk to everybody. I love it.
Yeah.
But when I'm good, I'm good.
I hear you.
I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's a skill that maybe this guy has to work on. Maybe he should come up with some sort of an excuse. Hey, you seem really nice. I'd love to continue this conversation. My whole family died in a car explosion yesterday. I'm the only survivor. I kind of just need a few minutes. And just fuck with people. Just hit them so hard. Just hit them so
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just here to, collect my family's ashes. I need a little bit.
Okay. All right. That's a little extreme. I don't think this venter.
Just tell him, look,
I hear you.
look, I got a trial this week for triple murder. I didn't do it. But I just really need time to think about my defense. Would you mind if I just have a little bit of time?
Yeah.
I'm running from the mob.
Yeah.
Yeah. For your safety, I'd rather.
Yeah. And then before you know it, the cops are there going, excuse me, are you running away from something?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm
the
running from
venter.
these people. The people who called you. You see how obnoxious they are? They called you. They wouldn't leave me alone. I get it. I don't know. I think we should
Okay.
consider some sort of a shirt to help this guy. A leave me
All
alone
right.
vent this
Well,
shirt.
we hope we helped you, Mr. Venter. It's a good vent. I agree. I'm not so sure about Paul's ideas, but they're funny. But the mob's after you, or I just, whatever.
What if
I think-
mid-conversation? What if when he just can't stand listening to these people anymore, he just springs up, runs for the pool, and screams as he cannonballs into it?
Yeah, that's true.
and just stays under. Just stay under. And don't come up until you get to the other end of the pool.
Yeah,
Just face away for
I
like
love
10
it.
minutes till people are like, Jesus, I didn't know my conversation was this bad. That guy just screamed and soaked himself to not listen anymore. Holy shit. You have a pool. I don't know.
All right, should we move on to the next venter? Yes. Or Loretta, hit it. Let's go, girl.
Guys, did you ever notice that our wives or girlfriends see things differently than men? My wife says to me, I'm disappointed you didn't notice the new flower arrangement in the den. I'm thinking she is nuts. The only thing I notice is where is the remote and is a drink sitting next to my chair while I'm watching a boxing match. I swear I think women are a very different species, almost not human like. Signed, Venture in Miami.
What was it signed? I didn't hear the last part.
Venter in Miami. Yeah, we're going south on this one.
Yeah, Venter in Miami. Well,
We're
listen,
down in the
Venter.
panhandle.
I mean, it sounds like this guy likes to be catered to. Is his wife supposed to put I mean, I digress, but the wife's supposed to put a drink and have the remote ready when he comes home. Okay, that's great. But I do agree that I think women and men see things differently. 100%. For example, I'll say to my husband, and this actually happened. I put a dress on. What do you think? He'll go, what? He'll know that I just put something brand new on, but he'll go, what? I go, the dress. Oh, yeah, it's nice. Whereas if I put that same dress on with a girlfriend, immediately she'll say, oh my God, that's too long. I think the sleeve should be taken up. They get it. They look at things differently. So I do agree with this Venter that men and women have different aesthetics when they're looking at things or talking about things. I don't think we're different species. I think he took it way too far. But I
Well,
do think this Venter is, women do see things differently. Yes, Paul?
yeah, I think, when he says different species, he feels like it's that different world. It's that different world, and it does feel that way. I get it. And I'm with him, but at the same time, you do know what you got to do. You got to be like, no, honey, I do love the flowers. Now, listen, now that you mention it, honestly, but you just got to be
Yeah.
able to go back and be like, look, the reason I noticed the flowers, because I'm holding the roof up. That's why, because I'm holding the roof up. I keep the jackal away from our family. Keep us so that we were alive, honey. I was focusing on, Charlie in the brush. That's what I was focused on. I love the flowers. Just didn't have a chance to get to them yet. But I appreciate the symbiosis of our relationship that you can remind me to enjoy the flowers sometimes. I take the liberty of not letting you know about the terror that's always trying to eliminate us. I don't do that to you. I don't take the time to point that out to you. And that's a courtesy. But I appreciate you letting me know about the flowers because that's very kind of you. What would you like for dinner? Should we order in?
Wow, Paul. That boom, baby, boom. I love that. You're sort of appeasing both you and, not getting upset, being right
Yeah.
on. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good advice for men and listening. You know,
Because we do have two different roles, hunters and gatherers. That shit didn't end when the internal combustion, engine came and we got electricity inside. Men are still providing security. Our mind is on serious hell. Even if you're getting ahead that year and finances are good, and it's still there's just something new we're worried about. Well, we got a bigger house. It's beautiful. The wife's decorating it. Yeah, but the taxes. Do you know what it costs to heat this fucking place? Like men are looking for the devil at every corner. And that's where our eyes are focused on. And we hope to God we do it well enough that women can focus on things like flowers. Or do you think this has enough rosemary in it? Like that's what we hope to God. If we do our job right, your focus is, do these throw pillows do something for the room? That's what we hope, And so, yes, it's great that, you know what I mean?
I mean,
It's not a sexist thing. It's not
it
a
sounds like a
sexist. Oh,
this
no,
thing.
listen. No, what's sexist is when women get called Karens. And the only reason women become Karens is when they have to be the man and the woman. And the guy's just hanging out, being treated, acting like a kid. And a woman has to be the defender and the, decorator. That sucks. I'm not saying that women can't have great jobs. I'm not saying any of that at all. I'm just saying men, our
Okay.
minds are, we're all constantly on fire. We're constantly on fire. So if you have to remind us to look at the flowers, please don't take offense to that. We'd love the flowers.
But this Venter, okay. I don't think all men are like this. Some men do see
Men,
things.
some effeminate males
No, not
aren't
necessarily. Some men.
all, all, 100%.
Okay, that's your.
I'm just being a jerk. What do you mean? Who you, what,
No, no, I'm just saying some men do see things like women do. So I'm not saying all men, and you're not saying all
and
men.
they may cut hair in New York City in the Chelsea area, maybe
Okay,
they,
Paul, some men have a sensitive side and see things from a
no, we
aesthetic point of
do.
view.
No, we do. And I'll tell you, there are certain times I'll look around and I'll just see that Chelsea did something new and, spruce something up. She's got an
Yeah.
awesome job, to be clear. She's a professional with an awesome job, but like she is the one. Our apartment, listen, I don't know if I've talked about this. I've either never or 10 times I've talked about this. I used to keep as my nightstand a moving box. I had a U-Haul moving box as my nightstand when we lived in Boston. And she was like, yeah, that's just for like this week, right? As we're unpacking. I'm like, no, hun, it's the right height. It's right next to the bed. It's actually, this is perfect. Why would I spend any money on a nightstand? This moving box is perfect. I just taped it extra. And she's like, you're not going to do that.
Thank you,
You're not going to
Chelsea.
have a moving box as a nightstand. And I said, do you know how hard it is to get the right height? Hun, it's
Oh my God.
fine. Fine for you. I won't. And we had that argument two different times because we moved twice.
Oh my God. I'm
But,
with Chelsea on this.
but I'm just
Nobody does.
saying,
I
our
mean,
apartment, it would look like shit if she didn't make it beautiful. And I
right.
thank her for that all the time. I do.
Yeah, because Paul, you're living in college days. Nobody does that when you're an adult. That's my 2 cents. Come on. Come on. Thank
Does
God for
life get any
Chelsea.
more adult in college? You're already out there. You're 18. Your shit sticks to your record. It's real, Chrissy. From there on in, nothing really. You know what? Yeah, I get it. But you know what? And what's the difference between a college man and an adult man?
What?
A woman, a steady woman. In college, you don't have a girl to tell you, hey, you can't have a moving box as a nightstand. But as an adult, you do, and that's why you don't.
Well,
Otherwise, we would. That's my
that-
point. Otherwise, we would. You ever meet a guy who's been single for like 30 years? The divorce just broke him in half, and he just hangs out at the bar. You go to his place, there's no art on the wall. His walls are white. He doesn't have a headboard. He doesn't have
agreed.
a headboard.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? He's got
I mean,
plastic hangers that came in a bunch. He's
yes.
got, you know,
In college, all you're thinking about is having sex. You're not thinking about decorating. When you're an adult, now
yeah,
all that stuff just, comes into the equation. But anyway, all right.
it's a
Should we
reasonable
move?
vent. It's a reasonable
Yeah,
vent.
yeah, very
Feel
good
that
vent.
guy. Yeah.
I think we have one more.
Let's do it.
Let's do it,
Get the
Loretta.
trifecta, the hat trick.
Yeah.
Hey, you think young people are loud at bars or restaurants, right? Well, right next to me, in a really nice restaurant, were five women of a certain age, over 65, and they were laughing and talking so loud I could hear the heavyset woman ask her friends how often they change their Depends, because she goes at least 5 times in the night. I'm thinking, so the fat one never leaves her bed, she just goes laying down? What the hell? Talk about TMI. Ladies, either get hearing aids or get a private room so you can scream all night about your bathroom habits. Signed, an anonymous venture.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Do you know how much I really was afraid they were going to say a bunch of women of a certain, and I thought they were going to say color. I was, they were queuing it up. When they said age, I was like, whoo. It's like, where are you going with this, Venter? Jesus. This is a broad family pod. Wow. Was that educational, Chrissy? Did you just learn something about depend changing time frames?
Okay. First of all, I think I can't believe this is a real vent. This sounds like some guy made this up. Come on.
But I
Wait,
see it though. I used to be a waiter. I'm sure this happened. I'm sure this happened.
Well, first of all, women of a certain age, and he said what, above 65?
I don't know. He's probably speculating. I'll give
Have you
him. I'll
seen
give it to him.
have you seen Jane Fonda? She's 89 years old. She looks like she's 55 years old. Women of a certain age take great care of themselves. They don't discuss depends. They talk about politics. They talk about food, books, art. I think this guy made this up. Who talks about, "Oh, Betty, did you change your Depends last night at 2? Because I did it at 3. That was my fourth time." No, nobody talks like that.
Chrissy, did you just reference Jane Fonda as
Yes.
a symbol for the average 80 plus year old? The average octogenarian is a woman who has been known as a beauty symbol worldwide, is known for having put out a fitness video series, was a pioneer of home fitness, and was married to a billionaire, and comes from multi-million dollar fit. She has had chefs, she's had trainers, she's had dietitians. We can't compare. I absolutely believe that a bunch of fat old women came up to the conversation. Hey, I noticed we're all fat and old. So I heard a little crinkling as we all sat down. I think we're all of the depends sort.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me ask you, how fresh are you? We used to have Summer's Eve commercials when women would ask each other how fresh they were, and there were no depends. It was a much younger age, and that was a bold commercial. Are you kidding me? These old biddies don't ask shit like that. Of course they do. Hey, do you still, when was the last time you went solid? You know, I bet they ask all
oh,
kinds of.
oh God. Really?
I just assumed that a depends was like it was a second level of defense to, hoping that you didn't need it. And it just caught some overspill and was probably good for the day. That would have been my guess. I never thought much about it. This guy shine light. One of these women, according
Wait,
to
this
him,
guy, you mean the venter?
yes, the venter,
Oh,
yes, yes, the unfortunate ear that was, this was thrust upon. He's saying one of these women said they changed theirs 5 times. What, in the night? And what's crazy, because we're like, damn, that's nuts. Your plumbing's all busted up. You're on your way out. But what that tells to me is that person is actually very prudent about keeping a dry tush. They change their depends 5 times. You know what I mean? They don't just sit there and wallow in it. Whereas the other women who were surprised by it, I think they're just like, and he said like the fat one, which was very bold, but like just maybe they should change it 5 times. They just don't. They just double down.
I just can't believe women are so educated and so put together today. Doesn't matter what age you are. Yeah,
Well,
maybe
not
30,
all.
40 years ago, what they're talking about, Wilma, I couldn't get out of bed because I got stuck. Yeah, but today nobody talks like that. They're like out and about. They're exercising. They're in marathons. This guy made this vent up, and I refuse. I'm sticking to my
Chrissy,
gun.
you know what? I would offer you this. I
Yeah.
think you should go to the Golden Corral this afternoon. I think you should find a Golden Corral. You should ride a bus for just 3 stops. You have a beautiful vision of what society should be. The reality is nowhere near. The bottom of the pyramid is always the widest. And so are the people he's talking about. These these people are not taking care of themselves. These depends. I'm glad they even have them. Do you know what's scary? I bet we could take the submarine down even lower to the dregs of women who don't have the money for depends and they just let her rip in Hanes. And do you think they're changing those 5 times a night? Hell no. They're probably hoping that it hardens and makes its own layer
Oh,
of defense. I'm
okay.
just saying.
Okay, you know what? This event has just ended. I'm not thinking about Harden. Forget it. We're done.
I hope they
We're
all
done,
ordered
Paul.
fibrous dinners. I
You've
hope they ordered
stepped.
bran.
Yeah, every venter now is if they're having dinner or listening to this has just lost their appetite.
I hope
Every
people listen
listener,
to our
every
event podcast during dinner. That would be a nod to us. I hope they do.
okay. I think it's time to
I'd
close the
change my
show.
depends if I found out that's how often. That's when people watch us anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sorry he had to listen to that, but I also agree that I would listen to every word of it too. I wouldn't walk away from that. That's a little snippet into society you don't get every day.
okay.
Anyway. I don't mean to make this thing dribble further.
Oh God,
I
okay.
don't mean to.
No, no, we're closing the show, Paul.
What? We're gonna clinch it shut?
Yeah, we're clenching it shut. We're closing it.
We're
That's
gonna
it.
pinch it off?
We're changing. We're changing. We're
Was today's
changing.
episode good? Well, it depends.
Okay. Boom. All right. Well, thanks for
Boom or
listening. We
splat for that matter. Anyway,
okay. I'm trying. People, mute Paul. We're trying to wrap this up. Thank you for listening.
yeah, like a diaper.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Somebody give him a hook. And we hope you enjoyed the show. Watch us on
Wait, what about
YouTube.
comments? We don't have any comments?
Oh, you're right. Oh shoot! I
Good
totally forgot.
Lord, Chrissy.
Oh my God, you're
We
right.
can't just
Paul.
throw that out with the old dirty
Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it.
All right, we've moved on.
All right, here we go. Here's comment number 1. Yeah, we got to do this.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for telling us to clean our belly buttons. I almost forgot I had one, LOL. I mean, it's not an erogenous zone, so it gets neglected, but not anymore. Well, I'm glad we helped. Okay.
Look at us helping the, health of society. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one cleaner belly button. If we have nothing else with all of our episodes, one listener is a cleaner belly button. Yeah, we're like Robert Kennedy, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Comment number
Improving the
2.
nation's health. Okay.
The podcast about flying sharks was hilarious. I asked my son to listen with me, and he really enjoyed it and now wants me to buy him one. I don't know if I should get mad at you, Ventthis, or thank you, because my son now wants to listen with me all the time. I think it's a win-win.
That's awesome. We're putting
Yeah.
families together.
Yeah, exactly.
Bridging age gaps and our generation gap. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's also a reminder that we should probably start to get affiliate links for shit we talk shit about. We should be selling these sharks. We've brought a lot of attention to these
We
sharks.
did. We actually did.
We should have our own /Ventthis shark link.
I thought I'll look into
Anyway.
that. The shark, the shark guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Last comment. I listened to the podcast where this guy said to smile more and see what happens. And people do respond to a smile. Not everybody smiled back, but it makes you feel good to do it. I wasn't sure if I should write this because it's not a vent. No, it's not a vent. It's a comment, and I think people should smile more. Why not?
Yeah.
It makes you feel good, and it makes the world a better place.
You know what they used to do when you smiled in public? Guys in white coats would come and put a jacket on you where you couldn't.
Oh, here we go.
Don't go smiling too much. Don't be maniacal about it. Just give them at the right time and place. You walk around too big of a grin, people are going to think you're on drugs. But you know what? But it's nice. If you smile a little more than he would have, that's cool.
All right, everybody. That's our end of our show now. So look us up on YouTube, listen to our shorts, subscribe, love us. We want you.
Please
We're on
love us.
Instagram. Our phone number is
please.
818-570-2535. Leave us a vent. We'll play it on the air. Be good to each other. We love you all. And
Should we
Paul,
call
don't
this a
ever
vent
change.
mail?
What?
Instead of a voicemail, we should say leave us a vent mail.
Vent mail. Yeah.
Leave us a vent mail.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Way to be, just add a little cheese. Don't mind me. Just add a little cheese.
He's definitely cheesy. All right. Toodles.
Toodaloo.